always said that WWE superstars may just be the most bipolar human beings on this planet. One second they'll go from being the hero of the tale to the other second being the devil incarnate themselves. And that's called being the babyface, which is the hero of the tale, the one you're supposed to root for, and the heel, the villain of the story, the one we're supposed to boo, but a lot of the times end up cheering for because we like the heel, because they're cool. However, some WWE superstars play one side of the moral sphere better than the other, and that's what we're going to be looking at today. Because we're going to go through every single current member of the WWE main roster today and analyze whether they're better off as a babyface or as a heel. And obviously I'm going to go entirely off of my personal bias and preferences, so feel free to disagree in the comments. As always, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, ring the bell for notifications. If you're a wrestling fan, I know you're going to like this YouTube channel because we upload daily wrestling content. So subscribe. All right, let's jump into it. All right, let's start off with AJ Styles, who's actually kind of a complicated character to analyze. So this is a tough one to start with because he's been a very good babyface and a very good heel as well. In fact, the only thing that makes him a bit of a difficult heel to get behind is that his moveset is very much catered to a babyface. It's a moveset that's supposed to get fans out of their feet and excited. And that's not typically the type of moveset that heels tend to use, but it works with AJ Styles even when he's a heel. I'll go entirely off of personal preference. To me, AJ Styles has been a more interesting, more dynamic character with more depth whenever he is a heel. In fact, the current iteration of AJ Styles is one of the coolest versions of AJ Styles that I've seen. Now, it's difficult to tell whether he's a full-blown heel or kind of standing in the middle, and that's called being a tweener, but that's a different video for a different day. I would say that he's better as a heel, but he's really good at both. Akam, I've only ever seen as a heel, so I'm gonna just sort of default to the answer of heel. We've seen Akira Tozawa play both, and he's played both a comedic heel and a comedic babyface, and he's played a serious version of both before, but really what we have to go off of over the last couple of years since the pandemic is a comedic version of Akira Tozawa. If I have to, go between Ninja Akira Tozawa, the evil one during the pandemic, or the current iteration of Tozawa, I think I like babyface Tozawa more, but honestly, I'm not really married to either one or the other, so I'll go babyface. Alba Fire, we've really only seen as a heel on the main roster, so again, de facto answer heel. Alexa Bliss is a fun one. Here's the thing, I think she's a better heel, far and away, much better than a babyface. However, even within her heeldom, she has different versions of the type of heel that she is. She has the Pretty Little Miss Bliss evil heel, where she's just a jerk to everyone. She's basically the little bully. She's 5 foot of fury. That's why they call her that. And then there's the supernatural heel version of her, which I never really resonated as much. So I do think that she's a better heel than she is a babyface, but even within the heel aspects of her, I prefer one over the other. Andrade is far and away a much better heel. They tried him as a babyface in the first run of NXT Black and Gold, didn't work. Turned him heel, freaking worked instantly. So that's what we need to do. I have a feeling we're not gonna really resonate with babyface Andrade if that's what they try here on the main roster, because really the only reason he's a babyface is because he's just cool. But we'll see. I personally think he's a better heel. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I'm going to say heel. Angel Garza, we've seen kind of in both, but he's been a far better heel. Angelo Dawkins, they tried him as a heel, didn't work because he's too damn likable, which technically means he's a terrible heel because he's just too likable. I don't know if we can really categorize it as that, but he's a great babyface. Apollo Crews is an interesting case study. Honestly, I feel like I should write a 10-page dissertation on the career of Apollo Crews, because the best version of himself was the heel, like Nigerian Apollo Crews. I feel like that was the most interesting iteration of Apollo Crews. Everything outside of that has really been very cookie cutter. At the very least, when he was a heel and had the Nigerian accent, at least he stood out in some capacity and was a character as opposed to just being an extra body on the roster. So I'm actually gonna say heel. I think we're currently seeing the babyface iteration of Ashante the Adonis, this like fashionista in his tag team with Cedric Alexander, but that's still really too early to tell. So I'm gonna go with a heel because his time in Hit Row, I feel like, to me, I guess it's not really even fair to say Ashante's a better heel. His grouping has just always been more interesting when they're heel, so I guess I'll go heel. Asuka is a fascinating one because I don't think that she's a great babyface or a great heel. I think she is a great in-betweener, aka a tweener. And in NXT Black and Gold, that's what she was. She would take out baby faces just the same way that she would take out heels, and she's played that role on the main roster as well. Here, towards the latter half of her career, she's played more of the heel. So here's the thing. This video isn't babyface, heel, or tweener. I have to pick one or the other. I am gonna go babyface Asuka. I don't know, man. It's kind of toss a coin. It's pretty close. I don't think that there's too much separation between her heel version and her babyface version. She's just sort of the same character. Just when she's a babyface, she goes after heels, and when she's a heel, she goes after babyface. It's the same character. It's almost a tie. You know what? I'm gonna go with a tie. Austin Theory could make for a really interesting babyface, but really hasn't gotten the opportunity to be that on the main roster, so by default, he's a heel. B-Fab, kind of the same situation as Ashanti the Adonis, but we do have a couple extra weeks of her as a babyface in the group with Bobby Lashley, but still not enough in my opinion, so I'm gonna go heel for now. Folks, do you want even more wrestling content? Then consider coming over to the Patreon, patreon.com/SantiZap. You're gonna get the Raw reviews, SmackDown reviews, you're gonna get the Wrestling is Cool podcast 3 days earlier than everyone else, and more. If you want even just more content than you're getting here, then come check it out. Patreon.com/SantiZap. There's almost 500 people supporting over there, so consider it. I'll put the link in the description or in the pinned comment. Okay, done with the sellout, back to the video. Next up, we've got Bayley, and this one's really interesting because we have two entirely polar opposites to talk about. We have the hugger Bayley, the one that comes out to the really cheery sound, the strings off the side of her arm, the wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube men, and then we have the complete polar opposite, which is Ding Dong Hello Bayley, the role model, even though she's a babyface right now. Here's the thing, like if I was picking which is the better character, I might go with the hugger Bayley, but Bayley as a performer, I feel is better served as a heel. I feel like she plays that role incredibly well, even though there is a place for that hugger Bayley. There's a reason why it died out, because people were starting to get sick of it. And there's a reason why she was able to provide her career with a second wind, a renaissance, by completely changing herself. And now she can be this character and be either heel or babyface. And right now she's playing a great babyface, but I'm going to go heel because we have just more years of experience with her as a heel. And all of those years have been really good. I really like the evil version of the man, her coming out with like the most ridiculous outfits and the sunglasses. It was good stuff, but it was difficult to boo against her because we just liked her so much. I know there's a lot of resentment right now on the internet for Becky Lynch as she won the Elimination Chamber, and a lot of people didn't want her to, but I still really like Becky Lynch, and I just don't think that she works as well as a heel, as good as she is at playing her role, because we just want to root for her. So I'm going to go babyface. We've seen him play both, but his career has definitely blossomed more as a heel. So I'm going to say that Berto's a better heel. Bianca Belair, we've actually seen both, just not both on the main roster. She did play a heel in her early days in NXT, and it was a pretty good version of Bianca Belair. Nowadays, we haven't seen that in a really long time, and she's just such an over babyface that it would be a complete disservice to try and make an argument that her old iteration in NXT as a heel is better than what we have today. Absolutely not. She's one of the biggest baby faces in the company. Clearly she works as a baby face. Why would we change that? Babyface. Big E to me does work better as a babyface, but his heel work is absolutely phenomenal as well. But I'm gonna go babyface. It's interesting because Bobby Lashley, if you asked me the same question last year, I would have said heel because his best stuff always came when he was a heel. But right now, he's just so liked and so respected that it's impossible for me to see him as a heel ever again. So he's might just be a forever babyface at this point. They tried to turn him heel recently and it just didn't resonate with the fans because we all wanted to root for him. However, I will say the best work of his career did come when he was a heel, so I am going to say heel. I'm not saying he should turn heel. I'm just saying Bobby Lashley, as we've gotten him on the main roster over the last several years, has been a better heel than babyface. Braun Strowman was kind of like an Asuka, an in-betweener, and I think he played that role really well. I don't think that he's much better as a heel or babyface, if I'm being honest with you. I think he plays both roles fairly evenly. Neither one really stands out, so I'm going to take the cop-out answer just like Asuka and say it's a tie. Next up, we have to see him as who has pretty much historically always been a heel, and they've tried as a babyface. Cowboy was fun, but all of his best work, in my opinion, came as a heel. So I'm going to say that Bever, I will say, is a much better heel. Braun Breaker, funnily enough, has a lot to go off of. I know he's only just joined the main roster, and we don't really yet know whether he's a babyface or a heel on the main roster as of the making of this video. So all I really have to go off of is his run in NXT, which I haven't been using really that much for the other people on this list, but it's all I got for Braun Breaker. He is a much better heel. He is so much more charismatic. His depth as a character worker really shined when they turned him heel. To me, here's the thing. He's so good as a heel that I feel like he can now become a babyface, but just play the same character that he was when he was a heel. So right now in his short career, I'm gonna say heel, but I think he can be great as both. Bronson Reed at this point is a forever heel. I wouldn't change that, so heel. We've seen Brutus Creed in both as a babyface and as a heel in NXT. On the main roster, we've only seen babyface, but in both iterations, I would go babyface either way. Cameron Grimes as a heel was awesome on NXT. They have just not let him shine at all. They haven't let him use his character work on the main roster in any capacity. I'm telling you, heel Cameron Grimes is some good stuff. I'm gonna go heel. Carlito, come on, is this a debate? They've tried babyface Carlito. It's not working. Far and away, the best iteration of Carlito in his career is as a heel because he spits in the face of people who don't want to be cool. Give me Carlito as a heel. Candice LeRae is an awesome heel in NXT. Haven't really gotten to see that on the main roster, but again, she hasn't been on the main roster for too long, so I am going to use her run in NXT to make my decision here. I think she's a better heel. Carmella at this point is just never allowed to be a babyface because she's just so darn good as a heel. We've seen Cedric Alexander as both. I'm gonna go with babyface, especially like during his time in 205 Live. He was really easy to get behind. He was so likable. Part of the reason he's so likable is because he's so good at his job. His run as a heel, I mean, worked, but it worked because he was part of a really cool group like the Hurt Business. I don't think it worked because he himself was heel, so I'm gonna go babyface. Dude, Chad Gable has been fantastic in this iteration. Alpha Academy Shush, thank you version. He's been great as both a babyface and as a heel. Right now, he's doing some really great stuff as a babyface. He's becoming really sympathetic while still being this goofy version of himself. But let's not forget that this all started with him being an annoying heel and being fantastic at being that annoying heel. I'm gonna be honest, I think I'm gonna go babyface, but it's close because heel Chad Gable, when he was a bad guy shushing everyone and getting beat up whenever he would try to interrupt people mid promos, that was real good stuff. But right now he's doing some of the best work of his career. Charlotte never works for me as a babyface. They've tried and tried and tried. I just think she's just such a great villain. She is such a top of the mountain final boss gatekeeper that to me, she's just a natural villain. Even when she's a good person, even when she's the hero of the story, I still think she's the villain. Chelsea Green may just be one of the greatest villains I've ever seen on Monday Night Raw. She's so good. Heel. This is a real debate here. I think you could go with either. I am going to go with heel CM Punk, but babyface CM Punk is also phenomenal. It's just that heel CM Punk just hits on different levels, man. The pipe bomb, that was when he was a heel. The Straight Edge Society, he was a heel. The feud against Jeff Hardy, a feud that's renowned by wrestling historians, he was the heel in that story. All of, to me, the best moments of CM Punk was when he was the heel, so heel. Cody Rhodes, we have seen as both a heel and as a babyface on the WWE. We didn't see him as a heel over in AEW, but he may as well have been a heel because everyone was booing him. But yeah, like he is like the face of the WWE, and he did this by becoming a babyface, so babyface. Cruz del Toro was a better heel. Honestly, he was more interesting as a member of Legado del Fantasma, so hopefully we get to see a heel version of him again. Dakota Kai is a maniacal heel. She's actually a really great babyface. We saw her as a babyface in NXT, and we're kind of seeing iterations of the babyface version of her on the most recent episodes of SmackDown, but I think she's lying. I think she's still a heel. I think she's a snake in the grass. You can come back to this video, a couple of weeks down the line to see if Dakota Kai has turned on Bayley, because I think that she's going to. She's a better heel, though. Damian Priest, a career renaissance since they turned him from babyface to heel for sure. I feel like the weirdness of Dexter Lumis when they actually use him is actually really cool, really endearing, and really fun when he's a babyface. So babyface. We've seen both iterations of Dominic Mysterio fairly recently, and one really didn't work, and one has absolutely worked. So heel. We haven't seen heel Dragon Lee, so babyface. If you asked me 3 months ago, I definitely would have said babyface Drew McIntyre is the way to go, but yo, this version of Drew McIntyre might be one of the most fun heels that I've ever seen on Monday Night Raw. So because of his recent work, it might be recency bias, but I don't think that it is. I just think that it's genuinely amazing heel work with all of the savagery that he says about the likes of Cody Rhodes and CM Punk. The fact that he is just this I don't know, like toxic version of himself. He's almost like an online troll, but with a microphone and in WWE, and is 6'6" and can beat the shit out of you. This is a great iteration of Drew McIntyre. So I think it swayed me, even though it's recent. I think he's a better heel. Elektra Lopez is a heel. Elton Strong can never be a babyface. This character is designed to be heel for their entire run. Same with Eric. Yeah, he's just designed to be heel. I've really liked both versions of Finn Balor. I liked heel Finn Balor and I like babyface Finn Balor. I think that he's more interesting when he's a heel, even though right now he's just sort of in limbo land, not really being utilized a heck of a whole lot. But when he's being utilized at his fullest, I like heel Finn Balor quite a bit more than babyface. Giovanni Vinci, we've really only seen him as a heel, so heel. Grayson Waller, to me, is probably a forever heel. I think the only way that he can be a babyface is maybe in the same vein as The Miz, where he's still the same obnoxious character, just going after heels instead of babyfaces. But yeah, heel for sure. We haven't really seen a babyface iteration of Gunther, so heel. We have seen both versions of Indy Hartwell, but I've liked her more as a babyface, so I'm gonna go babyface. Ivar just got that forever heel look, so heel. Ivy Nile, we have seen in both, and I've liked her far more as a babyface, so here we go. I think she's a much better babyface, and even though she's got the look of a great heel, I still think that I like the look that she has, the tenacity, the muscle hamster look for a babyface. We've seen both iterations of Io Sky, but even in NXT, she was so much better as a heel. We haven't really seen her as a babyface on the main roster, so that's really yet to be determined. So heel. Jade Cargill is interesting because in her entire run, more or less in AEW, she was a heel. She was a pretty good heel. But it's looking like she's going to be a babyface here in the WWE. I think it might just be too early to tell. So with the star treatment that they're giving her, I'm going to toss a coin and maybe say babyface here is the way to go. I don't know. JD McDonough just has that punchable face to be a great heel. Jey Uso is great as either. I think he's been a fantastic babyface in the singles run. I think he was great as a heel during the whole Uso Penitentiary stuff and the Bloodline stuff. But his career really blossomed when he became a heel. Let's not forget that he was really struggling to get any sort of fan connection when he was a babyface with the face painted version of the Usos. It wasn't until they turned heel and became like a rougher, a dark version of themselves that he really started getting over with the fans. And the best run of his career to me is when he was a heel in the peak of the Bloodline storyline. He's demonstrated that he can definitely be a great babyface. But I think in a heel singles run, he could also be even better than he is right now. So I'm going to go heel. Same with Jimmy, though we haven't seen too many versions of him as a babyface in recent memory. So it's almost like by default that he's a heel in this list. Jinder Mahal, don't hinder him, heel. Joaquin Wilde, same as Cruz del Toro. I think they were better heels as members of Legado del Fantasma. We've seen both great versions of a heel Johnny Gargano and a babyface Johnny Gargano. He has demonstrated he is good at playing both. However, I think that him being Johnny Wrestling, being the good guy, being the underdog, just plays so much better to him. So I'm going to go babyface. Julius is kind of in the same boat as both Brutus and Ivy Nile, babyface. We have Kairi Sane. I think she's a great heel. But I thought she was an awesome babyface. I'm going to go with her as a babyface. I really liked her work as the Pirate Princess when she was NXT champion as the Pirate Princess and came out with the chest and opened it and the title was in there. It was good stuff. It was really gimmicky, but it really worked. So babyface. Carl Anderson is far and away a better heel. Karrion Kross, haven't really seen him as a good guy, so heel. Both Katana Chance and Kaden Carter can work as both, but the party girl gimmick and the fact that they're both so fun and their moveset is very friendly to that babyface move pool, I'm gonna say babyface. Kevin Owens is perfect as either one, or I can't pick one. He's been amazing as a heel, been amazing as a babyface. I'm sorry, I'm using the cop-out answer, tie. Kit Wilson, forever heel. Kofi Kingston, there's a case to be made for either, but I do think that he's a very sympathetic babyface. Dude, that run during Kofi Mania will forever cement him to me as like one of the most likable babyfaces in WWE history. He did play a great heel, both as faking Kofi Kingston and when he was a heel in the New Day, but yeah, babyface. Liv Morgan for right now is a babyface, but I desperately want to see what she can do as a modern version of herself as a heel. We were seeing perhaps glimpses of it after her feud with Ronda Rousey, and a lot of us thought that she was going to turn heel, maybe join the Wyatt Six. This was all after Extreme Rules, but that never really came to fruition. A lot of us were really clamoring for it. I really want to see what she can do as a heel in the modern day, but right now, almost by default, I'm going to say babyface. LA Knight can be great at both, and he's demonstrated he doesn't doesn't really need to change his character to go from babyface to heel. He's literally the same character as either of them, so tie. We tried with babyface Logan Paul. We rejected babyface Logan Paul, and in return, we got heel Logan Paul, which has been absolutely phenomenal. Logan Paul can never be a babyface. Heel. Ludwig Kaiser just has the James Bond villain look. He is a heel through and through. Gallows is a better heel. Maxine, debatable. I think I liked her more as the male model agent version of herself. So yeah, I'm gonna go heel. I did like her run with Alpha Academy as she learned to become a wrestler, but I feel like it's kind of reached its peak. It's been played out, and now that I have the full story on both, I'm gonna go with the male models version of her. Well, I'm definitely not gonna use her time in Retribution for this, so babyface. Montez Ford is also a phenomenal babyface. I wouldn't have it any other way. We've seen Naomi play both, but she has been much better as a babyface in the WWE. Nia Jax, heel through and through. I wouldn't even ever attempt her as a babyface ever again. Who? Omos might just be too big and too scary to ever be a babyface, so heel. We've seen plenty of both for Natalya, but I've resonated with her more as a character when she's a heel. This really depends. Like, we've seen both iterations. We've seen the uber babyface when she was Nikki ASH. We've seen the uber heel when she became Nikki ASH, but as a villain, and during like her time in Sanity. I do think that she is a better heel, but like the way that they're using her now just is not it. I really like when she was Insanity and she was like a crazy feral woman. That's the type of Nikki Cross that I like. Otis, we've recently seen both, but I think that he just is so likable. So babyface. Piper Niven, definitely a heel for me. We've seen both here, and I'm gonna go with the heel, even though we haven't seen too much of heel Butch or Pete Dunne, whatever you want to call him, on the main roster. But I've seen both extensively through his time in NXT UK, Black and Gold, and the main roster, and he's the better heel. R-Truth has been both and has been a very prominent heel and a very prominent babyface, but he's just too damn funny to not utilize as a babyface. Although I'm sure we can still have that humor as a heel, he's just too damn likable, especially at this point in his career. Look, it's obviously fair to say that his main event run was when he was a heel, but he's going to be remembered when he gets put into the Hall of Fame as a career babyface. Randy Orton, great at playing both, but I don't think anyone plays heel better than him, so definitely heel for Randy Orton. Raquel has way more depth when she's a babyface. They've tried her as the heel, and it worked, but it didn't really go beyond, I'm big, strong, and scary. Now, at the very least, there's a bit more layers to really go off of, and she's far more sympathetic and more interesting as a babyface. Rey Mysterio may be the biggest heel of all time, just with his abusive upbringing of Dominic Mysterio. Let's not forget that he only got him a gross BMW instead of the Mercedes that he really wanted. Like, what kind of father does that? But in the WWE, I guess he portrays a pretty good babyface. Razar, haven't seen him as a babyface, so heel. Within a couple of weeks of this video being uploaded, I wouldn't be surprised if we have a babyface version of Rhea Ripley, so my thoughts might change if that does happen, especially with this main event mommy as a babyface. Could be really interesting. But the only times that she's been a babyface on the main roster, she hasn't been particularly very interesting. In fact, her heel turn and joining Judgment Day saved her young career, in my opinion. So even though she's probably on track to becoming a babyface and becoming a super popular babyface, right now, as of the making of this video, I have to say heel. Ricochet for sure babyface, although I'd be interested to see what they do with him as a heel, but they haven't really tried that. Roman Reigns saved his career, his legacy, by turning heel. The big dog, the suckering succotash just wasn't working with fans. It wasn't resonating. It wasn't until he became the tribal chief and became God mode and became the biggest uber heel in the WWE that he really got over. So heel for sure for Roman Reigns. Sami Zayn is great at both. I'd argue that he is a better heel. I know that right now he's a babyface. He's super sympathetic. He plays that role really well. He plays the underdog from the indies role really well. But don't forget the amazing work that he was doing leading into the storyline with the not the Judgment Day, with the Bloodline, his time in the Bloodline, the stuff that he was doing as Intercontinental Champion. The best stuff that Sami Zayn has done in his main roster run in the WWE has come as a heel. believe it or not. So heel. Sanga, heel, I guess. Santos Escobar has been a much better heel. He was a great heel in NXT when he was the leader of Legado del Fantasma. He was a great heel when he initially came to the main roster. They turned him babyface, and then he just became this like really just generic, I'm a happy Latino guy. And now he's back, all right? He's back to being a heel, and he plays that character incredibly well. I think we've tried babyface Santos Escobar, and it doesn't work. He's a heel. Scarlett, she could do whatever she wants, but heel. Seth Rollins is an interesting one. I'm going to say heel because I do think that the best stuff that he's ever done in the WWE has come as a heel. His run as the Architect, the heel turn against the other members of the Shield, the Messiah stuff. To me, all of those versions and iterations and the things that he's done as a heel are more memorable than the things that he's done as a babyface. But this current version of Seth Rollins is a very good one as a babyface, but heel Seth all the way. Shayna Baszler was a great heel when she was dominant and monstrous, but right now she's just sort of in limbo, but still heel. Sheamus could go either way. I feel like he's sort of just the same character whenever he's a babyface or a heel. So sorry for the cheap answer, but tie. Shotzi is interesting as both, but I'm going to say that she's a better babyface. Shinsuke Nakamura, NXT, definitely babyface. Current version of Nakamura is the best version of Nakamura that he has been on the main roster ever since he was called up all those years ago. So because I have enough to go off of in the main roster, he's been heel, babyface numerous times in the main roster. He's more interesting as a heel. Solo Sikoa, haven't really gotten to see him as a babyface on the main roster. He did a little bit of babyface work in NXT, but heel, I guess. Sonya Deville, definitely heel. Tegan Nox, gonna go babyface here. The Miz, they tried as a babyface in the 2010s, and it just felt wrong. It felt gross, and I don't ever want to see that version of The Miz ever again. Right now, he's a babyface, but he's really just the same version of himself as a heel, just going up against bad guys. So that's how you do a babyface version of Miz. But the reason this current decent version of The Miz exists as a good person is because of the great backwork that he's done as a heel over the last decade plus. So heel for sure. One of the best heels to ever do it. The Rock. Whoo, this is interesting because he's been great at both, but to me, he's just always worked better as a heel. He's just so good at roasting people, roasting fans, roasting employees of the WWE. And I've always said that my favorite character in WWE history was 2003 Hollywood Rock, and he was a heel. So heel. We haven't really gotten to see a babyface Tiffany Stratton, but she's so good as a heel that I don't think I ever want to see it. So heel. Tommaso Ciampa, heel. I know we haven't gotten too much of great heel Tommaso Ciampa in the main roster. He was a heel for a little bit when he was the henchman of The Miz, but that wasn't very good. But the heel work of Tommaso Ciampa on NXT, he was the biggest heel in all of professional wrestling. Not the biggest heel in NXT, the biggest heel in the world. When he was like the maniacal, black-hearted, evil Tommaso Ciampa in NXT, the black heart of NXT, heel for sure. Tyler Bate, I really haven't seen his heel work before, so babyface. Valhalla, I guess heel. Veer, heel. Xavier Woods has been great as both, but I like him more as a babyface personally, kind of for the same reason as both Big E and Kofi Kingston. He was great as a heel when the New Day was a heel faction, and that was probably the best heel version of Xavier Woods, because before the New Day, it really wasn't working for me with what he was doing in the WWE. Heel Xavier Woods was great in the New Day, but so was babyface, and I think babyface is better. We haven't seen Xia Li for a while, but that 3-month stint where she was attacking people on Monday Night Raw was great, so heel. Zelina Vega is actually really good at both, but her heel work is so fantastic. She's a great babyface, but an amazing heel, so heel. Zoe Stark, I'm gonna say heel as well. I feel like she was more interesting when she was a heel during her initial main roster run, and I feel like she's lost a lot of steam, and part of it was because she turned babyface. Woo, that was a long video. Hopefully you stuck with me. Let me know what you feel I got wrong in the comments down below, but that's it. I'm done. Get out of here.